You've been struggling with stress all day. You come home, and all you want to do is relax a bit. To relieve the tiredness of the day, you pick up the remote control, switch on the computer, or turn on the console. You switch on one of the games that used to draw you in and make you forget your hours. But something strange happens. You start to get bored before even 10 minutes have passed. You can't focus on the story. The missions seem like a chore. Playing games is not as fun as it used to be. Sometimes it even feels like an obligation. But why? Have games changed? Or have you? Maybe we need to ask the question more fundamentally. What is fun? And why can't we feel it the way we used to? What is fun? The concept of fun in games. So, what exactly is fun? Is it just about having fun? Or is it about losing track of time? Can fun be getting lost in the world of a game, experiencing a sense of achievement or discovering new things? This is where the flow experience comes into play. Flow, as defined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is an experience in which the person is completely focused on the activity they are doing and forgets about themselves and the outside world. The most satisfying moments we feel while playing games are often the moments when we enter this flow state. When we are trying to complete a task, our brain is completely focused. The difficulty level is just right. We are motivated. We don't think about anything but the task at hand. And we don't realize how time flies. Well-designed games offer a structure that supports the flow experience. Clear goals, instant feedback, and a perfect balance between skill and challenge. But fun is not just about flow. To fully understand fun, we should also take a look at the definitions in John Sharp and David Thomas's book, Fun, Taste, and Games. According to them, fun requires existence within a system of rules independent of the real world. So when we play a game, we accept the rules and limits of that game. Instead of looking for utility, efficiency, or logic, as in real life, we switch to a completely different way of thinking. For example, the concept of quasi-reality implies that games both have elements of the real world and are entirely fictional. In a racing game, you can drive a car, but even if you crash, you won't get hurt. You can fight against enemies in a war game, but you will not suffer any real-world casualties as a result of this struggle. So the game world becomes a place where the physical and social rules of real life are bent. These semi-real worlds offer players both freedom and new experiences. Thanks to games, you can become a pilot, build a city, lead an army, or become a legendary warrior in a fantasy world. However, despite all this, the pleasure we get from games can diminish over time. Games that once excited us can now seem boring. So, is it because of the games? Or have we changed? Reasons for the loss of fun in games. Games may not be as fun as they used to be. You open it, you start, but after a while, you start to get bored. The worlds that used to draw you in, that you used to spend hours in, no longer interest you. Is it just you? Or is it something that happens to everyone? There are many reasons why our enjoyment of games decreases. Maybe you're getting older, and what you expect from games has changed. Maybe it's harder to get into the flow experience now. When you were younger, you could be completely immersed in the game, forgetting about the outside world. Now, when you play games, your mind is constantly drifting to other things. Daily responsibilities, work, future plans, endless thoughts. It is no longer as easy as it used to be to get completely immersed in a game, to feel like a part of that world. Games have become simple or unimportant to you. Tasks that used to be exciting now feel like a repetitive chore. There are also distractions. You used to focus only on the screen when you played games, but now your phone is always at your fingertips. Notifications, social media, texts distract you from fully immersing yourself in the game. Platforms like Twitch and YouTube have changed your relationship with games. Many people now prefer to watch games instead of playing them. Instead of taking part in the game, watching someone else play turns into a more effortless entertainment. Starting a game, learning it, getting into it, and progressing can sometimes seem like too much work. Instead, it is easier to watch a creator's experience while playing a game. There is also the social side. In the past, games used to be an entertainment played in the same room with friends and laughter. Board games played together, cooperative adventures, PES or FIFA tournaments. These made gaming not only an entertainment, but also a social activity. But the gaming world has changed. Where MMORPGs used to be about friendships, hours of raiding, and worlds explored together, now most games are based on matchmaking with random people. Competitive games like Battle Royale focus more on winning than social bonding. Online gaming communities are becoming increasingly toxic, and many players are now starting to feel lonely while gaming. The friends you used to sit next to and laugh with have been replaced by strangers shouting at you on the screen. Add to all this the changes in the gaming industry. While every new game used to try to offer something different, now big-budget games repeat the same formulas. Story-based action games have become monotonous. Safe and mediocre content that doesn't take risks is being produced. Repetitive missions, mandatory side activities, and microtransactions are added to artificially prolong gameplay. Instead of innovation, there is a system that plays on players' habits. Indie titles still offer creative and fresh experiences, but big games often rely on big names to repeat old formulas. This causes players to get bored over time. Games that don't feel new are not as impressive as they used to be. And perhaps the biggest problem is our brain's dopamine cycle. Games release large amounts of dopamine into our brains. When we level up, complete a task, or win a prize, our brains reward us. But when too much dopamine is released, our brain becomes desensitized to it. It's getting harder and harder to get the same satisfaction from the same games. Live service games are designed to keep players as long as possible. They keep us glued to the screen with battle pass systems, daily quests, and structures that force us to constantly return. Loot box and micropayment systems allow players to get more dopamine by spending real money. Playing games becomes a necessity instead of being fun like it used to be. You play because you are afraid of falling behind. You play because you don't want to miss something. But it doesn't feel like it used to. Games stop being something you play to relax and become a chore you have to keep up with. So what can you do in this situation? Firstly, you have to accept that your idea of fun has changed. If you've always played the same type of games, maybe it's time to try different genres. Being open to new experiences can get you excited about the gaming world again. If social interaction is lacking, it might be a good idea to rediscover co-op games or board games. Games can go from being a solitary escape to a shared experience. Sometimes the best solution is to take a break from games for a while. If no game draws you in, if you get bored or feel obliged to play, maybe it's time to put the games aside. Taking up new hobbies, engaging in different activities, going out and having different experiences will refresh your perspective on games. Games can be a part of life, but they don't have to be everything. When you go away for a while, you can start playing with greater excitement when you come back. If you want more of this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when new videos arrive. Games change, we change, but how we find fun is entirely up to us. See you in the next video.